In this week's Jaunts with John T, we continue my bucket list quest to visit every Major League Ballpark in the country and one in Canada. This week we're traveling back in time to the 2024 season so that we can visit the now-defunct Oakland Alameda Stadium, the previous home of the Oakland Athletics. And while we're in the Bay Area, we'll also visit Oracle Park, home of the San Francisco Giants. Howdy, and welcome to Jaunts with John T. I am John T, and this week we are continuing my bucket list quest to visit every Major League stadium in the country and one in Canada. Now this week we are going to go back in time to 2024, and we will be going to the San Francisco Bay Area where we will see the Oakland A's as well as the San Francisco Giants. Now the reason why I'm going back to 2024 I'll explain a little bit later, but in the meantime, let's play ball and come on this jaunt with me.
Flashback.
And you may be asking yourself, why am I recording this now? Well, I'll tell you a little bit later. So we're going to go in here, we're going to see San Francisco Giants play the Phillies. My buddy who I'm here with is a Phillies fan, so he'll be rooting for the Phillies. So let's come on with me, let's go inside and take a look. I'm not just going to be visiting every stadium, I'm also going to be ranking them, and I'm going to rank them in 6 categories: location, historical significance, aesthetics, food and merchandise, game viewing experience, and of course, overall vibe. There'll be 10 points in each of those different categories for a total possible score of 60 points. Additionally, I'm also kind of challenging myself to do a couple of extra things while I'm at each ballpark.
Challenge accepted. No.
First, I'm going to, eat a hot dog at every single stadium. I think I can manage that one. And second is I'm going to try to purchase a t-shirt like this one, but specifically I want a t-shirt, if possible, that instead of having the name of the team, actually has the name of the stadium where the team plays. Those are a little bit more rare. If I can't find that, then I'll do something like this with the team logo on it. And if I can't find that, I'll just get something that I think is cool. The Giants originated in New York City as the New York Gothams in 1883, and were known as the New York Giants from 1885 until the team relocated to San Francisco, California after the 1957 season, along with the Dodgers, who moved to Los Angeles. The Giants played their first 2 seasons in San Francisco at Seals Park before moving to the multi-use Candlestick Park in 1960. Groundbreaking on the new ballpark began on December 11, 1997, in the industrial waterfront area of San Francisco known as China Basin. When it was opened on March 31, 2000, it was named Pacific Bell Park, or Pac Bell for short. SBC Communications bought out Pacific Bell, and an agreement was reached with the Giants to change the stadium's name to SBC Park in 2004. After SBC purchased AT&T in 2005, the park was renamed to AT&T Park, its 3rd name in 6 years. In 2019, AT&T gave the Giants the option of ending the agreement early. A new sponsor was quickly found, and the park was renamed to Oracle Park. The hot dog at Oracle Park was pretty good. It was a grilled dog with a nice snap and good flavor, and the bun was fresh and soft. Before we get into the ratings, I did want to say that I heard from a couple of folks who pointed out that there are a couple of light rail stations near T-Mobile Park. Thanks for that. You're correct. I'm not sure how I missed it, but at any rate, I am going to bump T-Mobile's location rating up by a point to 8.5, giving them a total of 44. Okay, so let's get into a rating for Oracle Park. Now, First, in terms of location, I do want to talk a little bit about the kinds of things I'm taking into consideration when I talk about location. First of all, as I had mentioned in previous videos, I do take into consideration whether it's an urban setting. I just personally believe that baseball parks should be in urban settings. So I am taking that into consideration. Additionally, there's convenience, access to parking and public transportation. And also whether or not the surrounding area has, other things to do, whether there are places to go to eat or to have a drink or something like that in the area around the park. But also there's the question of how well does the park fit into the surrounding area? And this is one area where Oracle Park really shines. The park abuts Mission Bay, and you can actually see the bay from many of the seats within the stadium, and it is a stunning view. Obviously, the park is in an urban setting, and there are quite a few restaurants and bars nearby on 3rd and 2nd Street, right next to the stadium. And also there is a light rail that literally runs right in front of the stadium. The only downside is parking, which is a challenge. But still, I'm going to give Oracle Park an 8 for location. Oracle Park itself, frankly, is not all that historically significant. It's another in a line of purpose-built baseball stadiums that were built to replace multi-purpose stadiums. That said, the Giants are a team with a rich history, both in New York and also as one of the first teams to move west. And the stadium that Oracle Park replaced might just be one of the most reviled venues of all of professional sports. I guess that counts for something, so I'm going to give them a 7 for historical significance. In terms of aesthetics, the exterior of the park is quite nice. It's very attractive. It's got this kind of old school vibe to it, which is nice, but it's nothing spectacular. The interior, however, is stunning. It's very open and airy with wonderful views of the field, and the giant Coke bottle and glove in the outfield give it a little bit of personality. I'm going to give it a 3 for the exterior and a 4.5 for the interior, giving it a total of 7.5 for aesthetics. The food selection was quite good. It is a new park after all, and the hot dog was really good, so I'm going to give them a 4 for food. Unfortunately, I didn't have my camera with me when I went into the team store, and long story, I was not able to get back, so for that reason I don't have any pictures of the interior of the team store. The merchandise selection was pretty standard. There was nothing that said, Oracle Park, which I wasn't really surprised by that. There was this one t-shirt I saw that had like a Dia de los Muertos style skull on it that had the SF logo and it said Gigantes, which I thought was really cool. But unfortunately, like I said, since I was not able to get back to the team store, I wasn't able to get it, which is why right now I'm wearing this San Diego t-shirt instead. Anyway, a 3 for merch for a total of 7 for food and merchandise. The game viewing experience was excellent. The seats were comfortable, they had a great view of the field, a great view of the Jumbotron, and like I said, the beautiful surroundings really added to the experience. I'm giving Oracle Park an 8.5 for game viewing experience. Finally, the vibe was very good. Not exactly over the top, but the Giants fans are very passionate and it really showed. They get a 7.5 for overall vibe, which gives Oracle Park a total of 45.5, which puts them in first place in the standings. Before we move on to Oakland Alameda Stadium, I have made myself a goal of visiting every MLB West stadium this season, and you can help. If you're enjoying this video, and let's face it, if you're still watching, I have to assume that you are, then please be sure to like, comment, share with a friend who you think might enjoy it, but most importantly, subscribe. As I mentioned in the first video in this series, and I'll put a link to that video in the description as well, if I see enough folks subscribing, well, that will motivate me to go ahead and visit every MLB West stadium this season. We're off to a good start so far, but I really need to see a lot more subscribers. Also, a while ago I posted a video about some of the other things that my buddy and I did while we were in San Francisco. I'll post a link to that video in the description as well. But we also did some other stuff like visiting some cool bars and a few other things that I didn't put in that video. So if you'd like to see that, then let me know in the comments. And one more thing. I didn't mention in the video I made about Denver and Seattle that I do plan on putting together another video about, the other stuff that we did in Denver and Seattle and like getting around and getting to the ballparks and all that sort of thing. So keep an eye out for that video as well. Well, that's it. And now back to John T from the past.
Flashback.
Okay, well, here we are at our next destination, which is the Oakland Alameda Coliseum, aka the Oakland Coliseum, aka the McAfee Coliseum, aka the O.Co Coliseum, aka the aka the Network Associates Coliseum, or something like that. It's had a couple of different names over the years, needless to say. It was built in, they started planning this back in about 1960, and it was mostly built because the city of Oakland felt that they were not really given their due, that people thought of them as being a suburb of San Francisco. And the Oakland officials were like, nah, we're like a real city, man. We're a real city, and we're going to prove it to you. We're going to build a state-of-the-art Coliseum and sports arena. And this is what they built. Now, it was opened in I think it was opened in 1966. Well, I know that the Raiders started playing here. The Oakland Raiders started playing here in 1966. They had moved to Oakland a few years earlier, but they played the first couple seasons in some other stadium. And then they moved here officially in 1966. And then in 1968, the Oakland Athletics, which was an expansion team. Hey, John T from the future here. That was, of course, incorrect. The Oakland A's were not an expansion team. They were originally the Philadelphia A's until 1955, when they moved to Kansas City. And then in 1967, they moved from Kansas City to Oakland, and they played their first game in Oakland for the 1968 season. Well, now back to John T from the past. We started playing here at the Oakland Coliseum. Now, speaking of that, earlier in the video, I mentioned that, I was talking about, well, why shoot these videos now? Why not wait until next year? Well, this Coliseum is why I'm not waiting until next year. Because you see, my oldest daughter, I don't remember, it was either Christmas one year or it was for Father's Day, or maybe it was for my birthday. I don't remember, but she got me this poster that's got every Major League stadium on it. And then it's got the scratch off thing, whereas you go to each stadium, you get to scratch off the stadium. And the idea is that when you've been to every stadium, you scratch them all off. And, one of the stadiums on that poster is this one, Oakland Alameda Coliseum. The problem is, this year, 2024, it's the last year that the Oakland A's are going to be playing at this Coliseum, or at the stadium. So if I want to scratch this particular stadium off of my list of stadiums on that poster, well, I got to go there this year. It's not going to be here anymore. Or I should say, Oakland is not going to play. No idea what they're going to do with it. Okay, let's go ahead and rate Oakland Alameda Coliseum. In terms of location, it's kind of a mixed bag of extremes. On the one hand, it's very convenient. There's lots of parking, and there's also a light rail station nearby. On the other hand, it's not really a very urban area. It feels kind of light industrial, to be honest. And it's not really the kind of neighborhood that you want to hang out in, which I guess means that it's good that you can get to and from the stadium easily. I'm giving them a 5 for location. The park is very historically significant, and I guess you could even say that its story is not yet over. It's the last of the cookie-cutter, concrete dome-style multi-use stadiums to remain in regular use, at least in the United States. And the A's are slated to move to Vegas to become the first Major League Baseball team in Nevada. I give it an 8.5 for historical significance. Okay, let's talk about aesthetics. Yeah, it's ugly. This style of stadium isn't very good looking in the best of times. and the Oakland Alameda Stadium has definitely seen better times. It's ugly and it's worn out, both inside and out. It gets a 1.5 for both interior and exterior aesthetics for a total of 3 for aesthetics. Considering the age of the stadium, the food choices actually weren't bad, and the hot dog was okay. Not the best I've ever had, but certainly not the worst either. I give them a 3 for food. Now, merchandise is a different story. The team store wasn't very big, and it was kind of dark, honestly, but the selection was amazing, and they had a lot of really unique items. One of the things I particularly enjoyed was that a lot of the stuff that they sold seemed to kind of lean into the athletics fandom. Plus, and I really can't count this honestly because it's not official, but there were vendors that were in the parking lot that sold some really, really cool merchandise, like this t-shirt that I'm wearing right now. They get a 4.5 for merchandise, giving them a total of 7.5 for food and merchandise. The game viewing experience, frankly, was not great. One of the problems with these multi-purpose stadiums is they're sort of like sleeper sofas. You know, they try to do 2 different jobs and they end up doing neither very well. So they get a 3 for game viewing experience. Okay, let's talk about overall vibe. As I've been saying in these videos, I've realized that the vibe can sort of change from one game to the next. And I realized that one of the reasons that the A's wanted to relocate was because of small and unenthusiastic crowds. But look, when I was there, the vibe was great. The crowd was very enthusiastic. Maybe it's because they knew that the stadium was going away, I really don't know, but I'm going to give them an 8 for vibe. That gives Oakland Alameda Stadium a total of 35 points, putting them well into last place. That's going to do it for this week. I certainly hope you enjoyed this look into the past. And if you did, please be sure to give us a like. That really does help us out. And if you'd like to see more videos about my quest to rate every baseball stadium in America, you can click here. And if you're interested in seeing just more baseball content in general, you can click here. Now, here at Jaunts with John T, we go on jaunts around the world, around the country, around the state, around the city, and sometimes just around the house. So if that sounds like fun, please be sure to subscribe, especially if you want to see me do more of these Western Division videos, and also hit the notification bell because that way you'll be notified when those videos come out. Well, that's going to do it for now. I am John T, and until I can figure out a better sign off, thanks for watching.